So we over like 10 years window, we will save, start a business, fail, go back again, save, rinse and repeat.
And throughout that whole time, I still love my husband, guys.
Well, I'm the guy doing the experiment, okay? I
Yeah.
was experimenting on our stuff. So rinse and repeat multiple times. I mean,
But
we
even
had a eBay business. We've had stores in the mall. We've had open a regular store in Philadelphia. So at least three solid times. We've opened business outside America in Nigeria, like rented a whole house.
Yeah.
So actually, minimum of 4 or 5 times that we had to invest at least 20,000 of our money. 20,000 in you said
Yeah.
20 to $30,000 as of 2010. That's a lot of money. Okay, I don't care, but that's a lot of money for us. Grow, and we did that multiple times, and each time things got a little better. But startup is hard, fellas. Startup is hard.
Hey guys, welcome to Wellness and Winning. Our goal is to help you find ways to be strong in your faith, family, finance, and friendships. I'm Ijeoma.
I'm Chidi.
Yeah, and we're so glad to be here. So today we're talking about our journey from corporate to entrepreneurship. And for us, we had not a very non-traditional path, but I think it's one everyone can relate to. And I think it just ties down to the fact that no one wants to work forever. At some point, you say to yourself, okay, I want to make enough money where I can be free and not tied down to one business, because at the end of the day, you can never own someone else's business. You have to own your own. So, yeah.
Right. So for us, I foundationally, we know we want to have a lot of kids, and it's not cheap to take care of a lot of kids. We know it's at least greater than 4. We don't know the maximum number. Right now, we're up to 6. And are we done?
Okay, we're definitely done. For
So
my
yeah.
opinion, we're done.
So yeah, I mean, we encourage people to have kids, have a lot of them if you can, and I think the Bible said go and populate. I know some people
Yes.
want to depopulate us, but we think that having kids is an awesome experience. So
Yeah.
being a father, just speaking from a father perspective, being a dad, not just a father, because anybody could be a father, but being a dad. I would say a present dad. People say you're praising yourself. Yes, I think it's not about praising
No,
yourself.
totally. You
I'm
should toot your own
proud of
horn.
being a present dad and what that means. And part of that is it really is gonna help you be grounded in the core values of life. Help you prioritize things in your life. Help you figure out who you really are, because part of that is being a role model, how you treat your wife. So being a dad is not just the kids, but they will learn. And actually, a lot of the things that the kids learn is from how they're observing. They someone say you catch more than you even talk,
Yeah.
right? So a
You
lot is
catch more than
caught
you're
than
taught.
taught.
Yeah.
A lot is caught at the early stage of your life. They see how you treat their mom, how you talk to them. So because of that, part of my role as a father is helping the family to set the course, the foundation, the long term. And so, thinking about our career, it's okay. We need to make a lot of money. Our thought is really to level up in our career, own some side businesses on the side, but level up in a career, because career is where we thought, okay,
You're climbing the
if
corporate
we
ladder,
can
right?
get to $100,000 a year, each of us, a minimum, our life,
We're
we've
set.
been there, we set. And then maybe whatever we save, we put in real estate here and there. So maybe we could take a little bit and take some time and talk about climbing the corporate ladder for you. How was that experience? What did you do to climb up the corporate ladder and be able to hit the hundred
Yeah,
thousand
I guess I
dollars?
would definitely have to talk about my journey from academics, right? I was pre-med, I was going to be a doctor. Changed my mind last minute, and then I said, "What am I going to do with my life?" And during that time, I also met you, and you introduced me to the world of tech and taught myself how to code. This was before TikTok, before
Yeah.
YouTube gurus. I mean, I was on W3 schools. If you guys don't know about W3 schools, it
Early
is
stage,
it
yeah.
is the best way to just learn very foundational SQL skills. So I taught myself how to code, and I just rose the corporate ranks into management, analytics leadership, data strategy, and then I eventually became chief of staff at Nordstrom. But the whole plan was to, okay, learn a high paid skill, right?
Okay, that's
Which
good.
was coding. And then at some point transition into management, because in management, that's where you can command the income. That's where because now you have more responsibilities. But my struggle, my internal struggle throughout that whole, 13-year journey in corporate, right? 13-year
13
journeys,
years, I think so.
was that I knew if I'm going to rise the corporate ranks, more time is going to be needed from me in work, and then that's less time for family. And I struggle with that, having each time I had, a kid and then or a transition into a new role, it was like, okay, I know this new role is going to demand more of me, but then I also knew that you were rising in the corporate ranks, to become head of data at such a young age for a publicly traded company. It was like, okay, something's got to give, because I remember raising the kids and missing their critical milestones because I was coding well into the night. And we're immigrants, okay? So we don't just do the bare minimum. We go above and beyond. Okay. I was the first person in, the last person out. And even after work, I wanted to just always say to myself, okay, what can I do today so I can be better prepared tomorrow? So it was a lot. I can't remember my daughter taking her first step, but we changed that whole trajectory this sixth time around, sixth baby. I mean, obviously, this time, we're not in corporate. We left corporate 2 years ago. I left corporate 2 years
No,
ago.
sorry,
Oh,
6 years ago. It's
si-
been
oh, 6 years ago. Oh my gosh. Yes.
before 2020.
6 years ago. I keep
Time
using
flies.
our time. We moved to Texas as a marker, but we've been in Texas 4 years now. I used to say 2 years, but
So,
yeah.
very interesting, like you said. So yeah, there's something you talked about. I just want to touch on a little bit, which is really bringing your work ethic and taking care of the job, not just a job, but running like your family business. You will always bring work home.
Always.
Because at one time, not because you can't leave work at work, I think there was a time you guys were understaffed and you had to pick up a couple of slacks and bring work home. I always sometimes even,
Many times.
many times, look at things with you and give some ideas. Help, hey, some coding part of it. But yeah, we both were rising, going up in the corporate ladder almost at the same time. Iron sharpens iron. That iron sharpens iron. That's one of the things we've done as a man. It doesn't matter who's taking the lead in terms of career. Maybe your wife is super smart, right? She's 1,000 IQ, then she should help you. You should help each other. In the case, I was the first in tech, so and I know that the people I was working around, were like, hey, my wife is smarter than some of this. I was like, hey, baby, come on, man, you should be here. So, and we kind of helped each other. Um, at the time, I was a director, head of data product. I was barely around. At one point, I was always, traveling to New York, wake up 5 a.m. You thought you missed a lot of the kids early stage. I missed too, right? I mean, mine was so funny that I told even the nannies that would help us not to give them shower at night because I feel I got to do something.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I was, once I come back, I'm the one who's gonna
Yeah.
take the shower, help them get
100%
set,
daddy
because
mode.
you want to contribute more than just financially. The weekend, yes, only doing job on weekend you're off, right? The kids' activity, but it was Monday to Friday. It's like you're not there. You come back 1.5 hours, they go to bed, and sometimes like we both work into the night. But I think for us, going away from leveling up from just an individual contributor, right? If you're in that stage, you're thinking, how can I get more time in my corporate world? It's actually when we went away from just being the manager, like a senior analyst role, to where went into management, that we found more time,
Yeah.
because our role is not just the one to code all night,
It's
but to work on the
delegation.
strategy and the delegation part of it. So again, if you're struggling, right now you're on the senior analyst role, you need to get up to where you have to be a manager, a director.
Right.
It might take time, might take you learning from other people. You have to find ways to shorten that window, but that is the where we saw the buffer where we're able to
Get more
get
freedom.
more freedom.
For the
to be able to
kids.
have more time for family. We still work harder, but just work a little different.
Yeah.
So instead of writing the
Work
code, you're now
smarter.
leading the team that writes the code. You spend more time thinking about how you can not just, the entire journey. How is the job that we're doing impacting the P&L of the company? So that was a very interesting moment, very interesting time, rising up the corporate ladder. But it's something that is possible. We had some mentors along the way.
Absolutely. I
We
mean,
mentor each other. You had a gentleman that really also helped you just when you have interviews. But yeah, we did have some help, but beyond that, we made sure that we're adding value to ourselves because if we weren't getting better in even breaking up from manager to director role, there's a lot of
yeah.
internal change, not even external, a lot of internal change personally that happened
Like what?
for me. Okay, if imagine you're the guy that will write out the code, like super excited to where you have to let somebody else take that win,
Right.
take that and you have to think from a system perspective. How do we, for example, okay, how are we helping the sales team? How are we helping the different division of the
Right.
company? Do we have think also sometimes from infrastructural perspective, from staffing perspective, from revenue, from costs, expenses? I wasn't doing that as an analyst,
Right.
but as a director role, you're thinking from the pillars that the company runs.
Right. Yeah.
And early in the stage, I felt like I'm not doing work anymore. This is not work, because I felt I wasn't writing any code. So if I didn't,
You need
I
something more
was really
challenging.
nervous. It was challenging, but it felt like because my identity was in the how smart my code was,
Right.
how lean it was, how I used to comment,
Right.
how clean you got to do the
The
code.
Agilytics, remember? Agile analytics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Agiletics and all that. But then I'm no longer doing those stuff. I'm like, now I'm doing strategy. I'm like, man, this strategy thing. I have more time. Put it there. I end up having more time.
I think with you, the challenge was that because you're such a high performer and because you are so good at doing so many things at once,
Okay.
when you weren't doing so many things,
Right.
you felt like you weren't doing anything.
Yes. Yes.
but
Yes. That I believe.
but you were
That.
doing a lot because the quality of those things increased, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't
Oh,
about the
you
quantity.
said it better. I was. Yeah. I can multitask, do a lot of things at the same time. She doesn't believe that sometimes too.
When it comes to the kids, when it comes to the
Because I
kids,
want to
I
only
think,
think about the kids. It's like you can think about the kids and do something. Like,
yeah,
no,
right.
I can't multitask with the kids. I just want to look only the kids. So, but yeah, being that I'm the type of person who can do, and that today I'm running 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses at the same time, and so it was that model tentacles. But okay, achieving that 100K plus in income, each of us combined. Let's look at
Each
that
of us
part.
combined? No,
Or
each of us.
each of us, yes. Over 100K, over 200K
I
combined,
mean, we had
really.
milestones, right? We wanted to
Yes,
hit, right? We said, okay, let's get to 100K, each of us. We did that. They said, let's get to 150. We did that. Then we said 200, and we did that. But at some point, we were like, we need more freedom, not more money.
so yes.
Because with those increases in income came more responsibilities within the company to the point where it was like, okay, we're taking on two jobs versus one. But at some point, we just had to say, okay, how do we find balance? What is it? What is the trade off? Like, do we continue to rise the ranks, make more money, or do we try to find a way to get back the freedom that we wanted? Because we thought that rising up the corporate ranks would give us the freedom, and it does to a certain extent, but more is required of you. And if you are a high performer like we are, you're not just going to do the barest minimum. You're going to go above and beyond. So that was the challenge that we had.
Yes. And I'm not against people rising up the corporate ladder,
Oh no, absolutely. I mean,
So,
that's what we're saying is a ticket to entrepreneurship. You
yes.
get a job, you make more money, you save that money to then buy a business or start your own business. So rising up the corporate ranks is actually
You need, I think,
you need to do that.
if we didn't, if we didn't get to the stage that we were at corporate, I don't think we would have been able to run our companies
So if
the way
yes,
we do
absolutely,
effectively.
absolutely.
And for me, It's also knowing the type of personality, the type of person I am. So some people are okay being number two, right?
Yep.
So you're that. I'm the number one guy. I'm the guy that will step up and before you say jump, I jump, right?
Right.
If I see Jay jump, that could be I don't know, but that personality that's not necessarily as an alpha, but you know, that first to jump up, take the risk, let's go. I'm the hunter, kind of the hunter personality. So
I would say that's alpha though. That's fine.
okay, if you call it alpha, so be it. But it's being the hunter,
Hmm.
getting up to what you said, getting up to over combined over 300 plus more wasn't there. I mean, the money was there. Even 100K, we're living fine. We lived
Yeah,
fine,
you live comfortable.
but the answer there was the freedom that we're looking for.
Right. It wasn't the money.
So if it wasn't the money. Money
Right.
was not the freedom.
Right. We thought it was
We
the
thought it
money.
was the freedom. We thought it was the path to freedom,
Right.
but it wasn't the money. I was like, oh, okay, we're here now. Okay, like you said, we did the 100 each, so 200K combined. We did the 150 each. We did the other, okay, what are we missing then? There's the freedom, and that freedom is to say, you know what, we're gonna go to Germany in 2 months and spend 3 months there and come back.
And not have to worry about this.
And yes, and it's okay, that was it. That was what we're looking for. And that is the inflection point that
We were at.
we started learning how to. Because before that, we've done business. We know we have to own business somehow, and we've
Do
done
you want to
different
talk about that? I
startups.
mean, we're talking about our corporate
Maybe,
entrepreneurship journey.
yeah. So
So,
maybe let's stay with that. Then
okay.
maybe another time we could talk about some of the businesses we did on the
Sure,
side
sure.
while we're doing corporate. But really, the lead from corporate entrepreneurship. So because we've done startups on the side and 99% failed, so while we are corporate, one of my role, my company, then being a head of, I was very close, and my boss was the president. Actually, my last two companies, I reported to someone at the VP or president level.
Mhm.
So I got to understand how companies are really run, how you grow a business from organic
Sales.
to inorganic method. The
Hmm.
organic is sales, operation, reducing costs, all new customer acquisition. The inorganic is really our business acquisition. I saw how we took the company from 150, 200 million valuation within 4 years to almost $900 million in valuation. A lot of that was centered around business acquisition. So how you buy a business, how you integrate them to your existing infrastructure, why should you buy a company? Some of the things that I never knew existed. So that on being in that circle, you know, and being part of people that help with the integration, I said I could do this. Understanding private equity, all of that. So we said we can do this. And the funny truth is, it's still the same principle. You can apply that with a $1 billion company or a small company. It's still the same framework. So we say, okay, we need to pause and be strategic about it. And that's where we talked about it. We said, okay,
When we
if
say pause and be strategic, you mean we had to decide, both of us were in corporate, and at some point you
what
knew, okay, we had to start buying businesses. So we had to say to ourselves, how do we do that?
and
Who's
who's gonna quit?
who's going to quit? Who's going to quit our 9 to 5, six high paying, 6-figure jobs? That was a
Right.
very easy decision to make, to be honest, because I mean, obviously my husband is, well, not obviously, but my husband is the financial head of our home, and he makes the decisions financially for us because that's his expertise. I mean, you're a math major, you love numbers. I love numbers too, but I think I love metrics more than numbers. There's a kind of a difference. I think that's why I did so well with analytics. I love looking at KPIs and things like that. And I like numbers too. But you have a thing for
I
numbers. You
mean,
have
little
a
number guy.
yeah, you're a numbers guy. So I knew that I had to lean on you for that, and then I was gonna stay home and help raise the kids,
And guys, I mean,
or stay in corporate
if
rather and raise
somebody's
the
to
kids.
quit job or not even have to work, she should be the one. I should be the one that will take the hit. In terms of if you need to work and do the business, and I'll do that, and I'll do and that's what guys should, if men, fathers, husbands should strive for. So yeah, in our case, we had the luxury where okay, you kept your job, I had to quit my job to. Before that, we had a period of extensive savings. People don't understand that. Like
Oh,
we had a period
absolutely.
more than even 2 years that we say now we're gonna save $100,000.
Yes. The goal was to save my income, remember? We didn't touch my income.
Right.
So,
So the goal was we're going to save in general for and whatever that for $100,000 because we looked at math. That's the number we need to buy a business that makes at least $100,000 a year. So I'll go again. There's a whole episode we can talk about how to find a business, how to buy a
how
business,
to vet
what
them.
industry, how to vet it, all of that. I mean, we spent years looking at thousands of
Thousands.
companies,
Yeah.
submitting a lot of hundreds of LOI, a lot of interest, going through different books. It took almost 2 years to actually buy one for us because we're learning as we go, right? So when we got there, but during that period, we said, we didn't know so much about finance in the business too, right? I mean, I knew about SBA, but not proper, not the right way, not the depth. So we said, okay, we got to save our way to buy our business.
Right.
And the first milestone was saving $100,000. That means one of our income has to be put aside. We have to leave on one income.
And that means a
And
lot of sacrifice, guys. A
for
lot of
her, not
sacrifice.
for me. Listen, I don't shop a lot because I still have to sacrifice because I don't really. I'm not the type that
Yeah,
go
you weren't
shop a
big on
lot.
clothes and bags and shoes and all that. And I'm not even talking about that stuff, guys. I'm just talking about, for the fact that, for example, we didn't even go on a honeymoon because we've always been in this mindset of we need to save. I don't it didn't start in corporate. It started
Right,
way
way
when we got
before.
married,
Right,
We said, okay, we need to save a lot of money. Either we use it to buy a business. When we first got married, we didn't know we were going to buy a business, so we launched a business and
right.
they failed. But we learned from them and we got back and we got stronger. But just sacrificing the fact that we can't live like the Joneses. We can't buy expensive things. I remember how much I used to spend on outfits and hair, very cheap, but I was frugal because I knew where we wanted to go. And we didn't go on family vacations. We didn't, I mean, we went on family vacations, but they weren't like, we weren't going to like Dubai,
Yeah,
we can go to New York or we can
yeah.
travel.
Sightseeing.
Si-
We went to a lot of
within the
sightseeing,
U.S., but
but
our ultimately, yes, we had to sacrifice. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Like we knew we had to save, and because of that, we just let go of a lot of
so
things.
yeah. So staying on that sacrifice thing, like you said, we saved up over the like you said before we even got to $100,000 income. We saved almost 50% of our income, more than that.
Yeah.
And then after like 2 3 years, we used to start a business, and the whole thing will fail. So we over like 10 years window, we will save, start a business, fail, go back again,
Save,
save,
save.
rinse and repeat.
And throughout that whole time, I still love my husband, guys.
Well, I'm the guy doing the experiment, okay? I
Yeah.
was experimenting on our stuff. So rinse and repeat multiple times. I mean,
But
we
even
had a eBay business. We've had stores in the mall. We've had open a regular store in Philadelphia. So at least three solid times we've opened business outside America in
yeah,
Nigeria, like rented a whole house.
yeah,
So actually, minimum of 4 or 5 times that we had to invest at least 20,000 of our money. 20,000 in you said
yeah.
20 to $30,000 as of 2010. That's a lot of money. Okay, I don't care, but that's a lot of money for us. Grow, and we did that multiple time, and each time things got a little better. But startup is hard, fellas. Startup is hard, and sometimes it may not be that the. Sometimes it's not because it's a bad idea, but there was enough finances to get off the ground. Many things can kill a business, startup, So that is a separate episode. But going from that to now learning about, hey, business acquisition is where you can bring the future that you want to today. And in our path, it doesn't even matter. It could have been a laundry machine. It could have been a,
Laundromat,
plumbing
you mean?
business.
Laundromat, you mean?
Right, laundry business. So yeah, sorry, laundry. So in our path, we thought of restaurant. We tried many things, but restaurant was one of the things that we saw, and we found a chicken wings company. Shout out to Clock You Chicken.
Pluck you
That was our
chicken.
first
Woo.
acquisition. We saved up the money, and then found an agent, and we bought that business, and that was the beginning of the new cycle. I mean, guys, we closed on a Friday night. It's a Friday afternoon, and then I came to the store the next day, actually the same day at night, and the bells were ringing.
Customers were
Customers
there.
going back and forth, and I didn't have to do anything
Right.
besides just hand out the food, say hello, and we had good income without manually doing the work. I mean, we've done the work behind the
Yeah,
scene
yeah,
of the
behind the scenes.
ownership, so that opened up our door. That hey, this is the
The
path
path to
to
freedom.
pursue to freedom, and in that journey, we're able to do that, saved up from it, put that all the we kept reinvesting. We bought our second business, which is a cleaning company. We bought our third business, which is a logistics company.
Trucking.
We bought our fourth business, which is a warehousing
Warehouse.
company. We bought our fifth business, which is a logistics company again. We bought our sixth business, logistics company, seven logistics company. So
And then we
over
launched
time,
two.
and we did
Right.
some startups over time, but in the period of 4 or 5 years, we went from owning one company to owning about six, seven businesses, just reinvesting everything. And the freedom for those acts and how to is that now we're able to say, you know what, we don't like New Jersey. We got to move, right? And we didn't
Yeah.
like New Jersey. No, we didn't like New Jersey. We outgrew New Jersey.
Nothing against
No,
Jersey,
I
but
love
I
New Jersey.
mean,
I'm sorry, guys.
but
I love New Jersey.
the cold couldn't do the
They
cold.
couldn't take the code anymore. And one of the things, again,
And the
looking at the
kids.
kids, the family, yes, she said it, the family dynamics, we have very, very athletic kids. Like our kids, it's not because it's our kids. People know, I mean, they're ballers. So we said, okay, how can we put them in a situation, an environment where they can play at least majority of the month in the year? So that means being in a warmer climate. Now, if it was basketball, you could do that indoors, but our kids love football.
And not just that, we wanted them to be in an environment where they can excel. And how do you do that? It's just like the scripture says, iron sharpens irons, right? So we said we wanted them to play. We didn't want them to be the best players on the team all the time. We
Yeah.
wanted them to play with other great players. And we knew Texas, everything's big
Yes.
in Texas.
Yes.
Y'all said it, and I believe it. We see it. And it's been just a great experience moving to Texas. It's a lot to just totally move your entire family from a state that you grew up in. My family has lived in Jersey since the 80s, but we said, look, we want to do this. We're starting our own journey with our own family, and to make decisions for your family, it's going to hurt some feelings. It's going to hurt some people, but you have to remember what's priority. It's your husband, your wife, your kids, and then everything else will follow. Thank God for technology. Thank God you can hop on a plane and see family. It's hard, but moving to Texas was, I think, the next phase of our leveling up, because we leveled up just not just family wise, exposure to sports and the kids, but also business as well, the type of people that we're around, the mindset of the folks that we're meeting. And yeah, I think it was just a matter of time before we moved, because we couldn't do New Jersey anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, yeah, we had to move to Texas.
So
Texas
don't be
was
afraid of
where,
making those decisions. It's
yes.
it's they're hard, but
Right, they're hard. I mean, your family, like you say, your parent, your mom, your grandparent, both of them, from your grandmother, from your mom's side, your dad's side, all in Jersey. Like, why are you living? I mean, I would say the same, but again, looking at the family, the goal is to, how do you win, your family, and it's, hey, this is for the kids. This is the direction, and owning the business or owning businesses put us in that direction. That I built that framework, or that gave us the opportunity to get up and just move to
all right. And
Texas.
I think we actually wanted to open up a Houston terminal. I think that was another reason why I kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
Was like the right decision. Everything would just happen to be just led us to Texas.
And pray for us as Christians too. We didn't just wake up. We prayed about it,
Yeah.
and we can talk about that later. We prayed about it. We felt we had the peace of God. Even
Yeah.
Texas wasn't even the
It
first
was
the first
Arizona.
option. We had Arizona, and then while we're pursuing Arizona, I believe God really guided our path to Texas because we didn't want to go to Texas to start with. We
No.
had the history with Houston
Houston, we're
and
like, we're never
humidity,
moving to Texas.
but we found a Dallas area. Woohoo, Dallas area, Dallas Cowboys. And so we prayerfully and over time, we felt led to move to DFW. And we went that direction.
Yeah.
Actually, when we moved, none of our business for 3, 4 years, we didn't have any company in Texas. Our companies were in New Jersey,
Yeah. The
Colorado.
Houston terminal.
Houston was acquired later
Yeah.
down the road. But when we moved, yeah, we wanted to open something in Houston, but we didn't have any company in Houston, in Texas. We lived 3 years or so without a business in Texas,
Yeah.
except our businesses were. I mean, we you put it the way, our holding company was later formed in Texas, but the actual, enterprises were outside Texas. Again, that's the benefit of acquisition. We're able to still uh, have income coming in from business in New Jersey, in Colorado, in Washington State, and over time it took 4 years or so before we did our acquisition in Texas, and we can talk about that in a different episode. But that's the journey, that's the story, how we went from the corporate ladder to owning business. There's way more into that. Now we are 5, 6 years now into owning our own businesses. And I know you guys gonna have a lot of questions, a lot of comments about, like I said, how do you finance these businesses? How do you buy it? At the beginning, we didn't know all that, and we can share all that in future episodes. Buying business, but really, for us, it's foundational. Like getting the foundation right. And you may not have all of them right today, but getting the pieces. If you're missing a little leg somewhere, go out and find that information
So
and put it in.
if you were to tell your younger self today, knowing what you know today, knowing all the experiences you've had in business and acquisition and corporate, what would you tell your younger self in order to make, say, your first million, or to get that freedom that you want? Would it be that pathway of, you get a job, and then you save money, and then you try to get a better job, you save more money, and then you buy a business? Is it that straightforward, or?
Yeah. So it also depends on who do you have parent that can help you. There are different paths to it, like you said, a different path. If there's a path of maybe raising money from family and friends, we'll talk about that differently. But I need to know if my younger self that have the winning mentality, because you have to have a winning mentality. You have to
And
be able to be
resilience,
resilient and be ready to. So
because you
there's
will
some things
fall.
you need to inherent ability you need to have. And if you don't have that, I would say then go build up yourself more. Go find a mentor that can help you kind of evaluate where you are today and can say, hey, dude, maybe you need to be toughen up here, read a little bit here. So if all that is taken care of, yes, it's to some degree I might say, hey, go work for somebody quickly that have go work for a small business owner
Okay. You mean like fresh out of, you
even
know,
without high school, out
okay,
of
in
high
high
school,
school.
right?
Okay,
Go
okay.
work for it could be the plumbing guy company in your area. Go work for a small business owner because then you are very close to the CEO. You can see how decisions are made. And let them know hey, I'm looking maybe in 3, 4 years to be able to own my business, but I'm gonna really help you work. Be honest. Some people will take you under their wings. I've seen someone that did that, and actually it was an older gentleman, and they gave him the company. The older gentleman was trying to retire,
Nice.
and they say, you know what? After couple of years, you take over this business, and they can help you sell. I know someone that
Yeah.
actually worth $500 million today. That was their first business was the company they worked for.
Wow.
So I would say, go out there, work for a small business owner, be close to the action, give more than you're receiving, right? Run it like you're the owner. Do everything and anything asked of you. In 2 years, you'll be ready to now apply the things you need to buy a business. Could be maybe you saved up 20,000. I mean,
Right.
I have had a friend bought a business worth $500,000 with an SBA loan of 10%, which is $50,000. With closing costs, it became about 56. But if we know what we know right now, we probably could have bought a business with $50,000 and now waiting multiple years to save
Right. Save a
$100,000.
hundred thousand. Right.
But yeah, there's a lot to it. But I think working for a small company, giving more than you receiving, give more, do everything, and all of that is going to help you to be a better person
I like how
to
you
run a
said
business.
that you would recommend working for a small business because for us, we did the reverse. We worked for big businesses,
Right.
right? And in corporate, you're working for Fortune 100, 500 companies. Like you said, you were close to the president. I was close to, the VPs. That was how we got that exposure. That was our small business ownership exposure, right?
Yeah, yeah, but it
But
took us years to get up there,
right,
right?
exactly.
And if we didn't go get up the ladder, we'll not understand how companies are run. The same
Right.
principle applies for the small business. Now,
But
yeah,
you're shortening
you're
that
shortening that
time.
time.
The time.
Yeah.
That's what
If
I
you're just
wanted to
an
say.
analyst that prepares, run this report, you don't even know how much your company makes. You
Right.
don't even know the revenue, maybe in HR. You don't understand,
Right.
this how you guys make money.
Right.
But if you work for a small company, you're gonna see, oh wow, okay, phone calls. I did 20 calls today. Our service guys went out. This is how much we charge per hour. You start seeing how the money works.
Yeah. And I think that's a good leeway into something I wanted to mention before. People working in corporate, they say, oh, I'm an analyst. How in the world can I, understand the bigger picture? I think at some point, in any role you have, you should try to understand how your role impacts the bottom line of the company.
Yeah,
Because the fact of the matter is, your role is tied to the P&L. And
yeah.
if you can figure
And
out
you,
how that relationship was made, why the decision that guided, your new role being formed, then I think that's just a pathway to understanding the bigger picture of,
and to wrap
P&L.
it up, if you're not, like I said, understanding how you are contributing to your company's financials, whether bringing sales or reducing expenses or adding value, then you can be very easily replaced. You know, or you may not know how you can add more value. But if you understand how you are impacting the company, you can find more ways to strengthen that or even expand it because it's not just your role. Hey, how can I expand how we are helping the company? And I'm going to talk about that which we
Yeah.
did at Bristol Myers, how we went from small budget of I think it was $20,000 budget for that division, and we grew that to almost over $2 million. In,
Right.
in,
I
in because
remember.
again, we went out creating value. We understood that what our value and was how do we and found ways to expand it,
And you can communicate
and
that
how
too.
to communicate that too. But knowing that really helped. But guys, there's so much to talk about. I can't wait for your feedback, your comments. We will be there with you guys, giving you our responses. So even some of the future episodes are going to be driven based on the things you guys want us to talk about. We have 6 kids, like you said, and and we have over 6 businesses. We went to college, but that's not really not the driver. We love God, we love family, our kids are in sports, how we're doing all of that. And maybe you are in that midst right now. You're a parent and parent to be,
Hmm.
you have kids in the teenagers, 10, 5, and you want to set them up for success. We feel we do have nuggets that we discovered and we're applying them today, and we want to share those with you guys. So until next time, thank you guys and see you.